Mouthwashing is a psychological horror game that was released last year, and though it has a very story-driven narrative, today, I decided that it would be the next game I speedrun. A lot of this game is having the knowledge of a first playthrough. As you can see, I immediately skip through the beginning dialogue and pivot the shift right. After that, I quickly grab onto the emergency key and place it in the hole. When the ship starts to crash and Jimmy loses his mind, you're just going to want to go in and out of this door. And what this will do, the game will perceive you as making it through these long hallways, when in reality, you're just skipping back and forth. But this will only last so long, so eventually we are going to have to go through the doors. Either way, this saves a lot of time and brings us to 2 months after the crash. Once we finish with the dialogue, we can immediately head for the cargo bay to open the door. We don't need the passcode because we already know the passcode. So I enter it in, and everyone's quickly gathered around. We don't even have to feed Curly his pills. And just like that, the next chapter is started. We're going to utilize some of that same knowledge in this next chapter, as we can quickly grab the axe as we already know the code. We free Daisuke, and unfortunately there's no way to cut out this part or go through this any faster. The next 2 to 3 minutes are just you running straight forward, until finally you meet Jimmy. After this, you can skip through the dialogue, quickly grab the report from corporate, and you're on to the next chapter. The same premise for some of the last chapter applies to the birthday cake. You already know the recipe, you already know what to put in, so we apply that and move on. The hardest part of this game that I could not make go any faster for the love of me was using the knife. As much as I slammed my mouse forward and back, it took me about 15 seconds just to cut through this cake. 3 months after the crash, we could skip checking on Curly and go straight to the cockpit to check on Swansea and Anya. Once there, we'll go to Curly and feed him his meds. 4 months after the crash, we can ignore Daisuke lying on the ground and just go straight to Anya. Inquire about the mouthwash, grab the axe from Swansea, and get the medicine in the cabinet. Once again, we have to feed Curly and then on to the next chapter. Now when Jimmy sees Swansea attacking him in the cockpit, I know exactly where the metal pipe is, as well as the rope, so I can quickly grab and apply them to the door. Some of these chapters are just dialogue, so I just kind of spam click as fast as possible to get through them. At 8 hours until judgment, you have to go to the basement of the cargo hold to look for some mouthwash from Polly the Pony. And this is probably where you could lose the most time, as getting caught by one of these horse heads will set you back to the beginning. So it's important that you know the route, as well as you don't get caught. I played this kind of carefully, which is going to make me have a worse time, but I just wanted to get this over with because I find this game terrifying. In the next chapter, 5 months after the crash, we can quickly make the mocktail for Swansea, as this is a recipe we already know. One day before the crash, we can rush to Anya to start dialogue with her in order to get to the next chapter faster. After Swansea uses the axe on Daisuke, we can quickly grab the gun from the gun case, as we already know the code to that as well. 0 days before the crash, we know exactly where Jimmy is and what he's about to do, so we can quickly find him. The puzzle in this Take Responsibility segment is already solved from our end, so we can quickly make our way through that as well. After we find Swansea tied to the chair, we'll be taken to the graveyard, where in order to quickly fire at him 3 times, I just kind of set up post at this memorial for Daisuke, and as soon as I can hear him rushing me, I take aim. After this, I practically skip Swansea's amazing monologue, as speed is the game. After running around in circles, I make my way to Curly in front of the TV. After feeding him what's left of him, I'm able to quickly latch onto the TV and get to the next chapter. Probably the weirdest chapter of this whole game. I try to quickly find the baby horses in this womb, and then move on to the Polly Caterpillar, whatever you want to call it, centipede, I don't know. And this is the part of the speedrun I just don't understand. I don't understand how to make the centipede take you to the next chapter. I try to let it get me at first, but it sends me back twice. So finally, I just run as far as I can, and I'm sent to the next chapter. I speed through the talk with Polly, and carry Curly down this long hallway to the cryo chamber. And just like that, finally, we're home. That is the terrifying mouthwashing speedrun, and no matter how I feel about my speedrun, there is no way I'm ever trying to set a new PB for myself. This game is terrifying. I might go back and get the achievements, but that is it. After that, this game is a quick uninstall. While it is very enjoyable and tells a riveting story, it's just not something that I could play constantly. But I hope you enjoyed. Please like and subscribe, and take care.